One study found that 91.5% of men and 60.2% of women reported using porn in the past month.
Every single decision that you're making, every single thing you're watching, every kind of information you're taking, you are training your mind to behave in a certain way by using that information.
Whenever you masturbate, dopamine goes down and prolactin comes up. So अगर prolactin ऊपर जा रहा है, prolactin is antagonistic to dopamine in nature, which can also help you improve sleep. So parasympathetic हो जाता है for a lot of people. For me, this was a thing that, a lot of times when I was not able to sleep, masturbation became a solution. Then I was like, I need to fix my sleep, or why I am not getting sleep without this.
We live in a world where performance anxiety and sexual performance issues are they are increasing every single day. So whenever a client comes to me, I just ask them one question: do you watch porn? If they say yes, I say, cut that thing. You have to let go of porn because that is one of the biggest obstacles that is not allowing you to enjoy the purest and the best sexual intimacy that you can do with your partner. नमस्ते गाइस, माय नेम इज़ अभिनव महाजन और स्वागत है आपका एक और एपिसोड में ऑन योर फेवरेट पॉडकास्ट बीइंग मेन। और आज का एपिसोड स्पेशल होने वाला है बिकॉज ये जो आज का टाइटल और टॉपिक है इसके बारे में हमें बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं एंड दैट इज़ पॉर्न एंड मास्टरबेशन। मास्टरबेशन सही है, पॉर्न सही है, क्या करना चाहिए, कितना करना चाहिए, कब करना चाहिए? तो इन सारी चीज़ों के जवाब हम ढूंढने वाले हैं इस एपिसोड से विद नन अदर देन माई फ्रेंड एंड अ ग्रेट फिटनेस एंटरप्रेन्योर एंड अ फिटनेस कोच, Yashvardhan Swami.
Thank you for the introduction and welcome to another episode of Being Men, guys. We made an episode on addictions. That was our first episode, and uske baad got so many messages in relation to specifically porn and masturbation addiction. बाकी किसी एडिक्शन के लिए इतने मैसेज नहीं आए जितने इसके लिए, एंड आई वाज सरप्राइज कि यार so many men are dealing with this problem and they're aware of it, because if they're asking for a solution, they're kind of aware of it.
Yes.
Right? So that led me to studying a bit. So एक study बताता हूँ. One study found that 91.5% of men and 60.2% of women reported using porn in the past month. Right? अब men और women में थोड़ा सा difference बता देता हूँ क्या होता है. Men are more visual in nature, so that's why they like watching porn. For women, it's different. Women like reading.
Right.
So basically, I'm not sure whether this qualifies or not, but stuff like 50 Shades of Grey and maybe even harsher stuff. So women are more into reading, men are more into watching.
Right.
And that's what. So Abhinav, when were you first introduced to this?
Porn for me, I'll start with porn because masturbation is something that started after that. So porn was something that we discussed that in the first episode as well. It was introduced to me by a close friend, and I think a lot of youngsters watching this, unhe bhi, they usually happens through friends, and out of curiosity you find a kind of a high the first time you watch. Firstly, there might be some amount of disgust that you feel, but उसके बाद एक high feel होता है when you start doing it on your own, because जब फ्रेंड दे जाता है उसके बाद आपको इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करने के लिए 2-3 दिन मिलते हैं. देन यू कीप ऑन वॉचिंग इट कॉन्टिन्यूसली जस्ट टू सी आउट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इट इज़ एंड व्हाई आर पीपल एंड माई फ्रेंड्स सो क्रेजी फॉर इट. बिकॉज as I explained in that, because my main agenda was that I want to fit in, and if I have to fit in, I need to see as to what kind of behaviors my friends are getting involved in, and this was one behavior that really caught my attention. So I was like, hai kya hai? So that was how I started, and then eventually you start getting that high. Every time you watch a clip, a video, your dopamine levels, they go to another level. Then you're looking for more and more, and sooner or later you realize, okay, now this is an addiction. So this is how it started for me.
आपने बड़ी interesting बात करी कि यार disgust.
Yes.
Right? So for me also, and I think for most guys, that our natural instinct says that it's something wrong. It's something bad. Right? So that's one thing which we should think about, that, naturally, why do we feel disgusted looking at porn? But after a while, we get interested and we'll start liking it, and then starts regular use. Then starts addiction and everything else. For me, story was very similar. 7th standard, one of my friends who was 1 year elder to me, he told me that, this is something you need to try. He literally explained how to masturbate. So मैं सुन के सोच रहा कि यार क्या हो रहा है. Next day he met me again and he asked, किया क्यों नहीं? मैं कहा नहीं. So he was like, इतना bro मजा आ जाएगा, मजा आ जाएगा. उसने इतना पंप दे दिया कि then I was like, यार करते हैं try. Because it was like, new to me, and it was like, wow, it's related to my own body. So my journey started with masturbation first, then moved to porn. As far as I remember, now this is like a lot of years back. So that is how it started.
We are all idiots in that age.
एक और चीज mention करूँगा that guys have more access to this. Guys are more open with their friends. Although women are also more open with friends, but guys are very open and vocal about talking about this stuff. भाई मैंने ये देखा, वो देखा, CD ले लो, hard disk ले लो, and whatever it is. Although now we live in a world where porn is banned in our country. Which comes with a joke that you still can access it. And see, the thing is, banning is not the answer, and that's what. So next is, Abhinav, when did you realize कि यार ये चीज़ कभी problem भी हो सकती है, या these things are wrong? If you think that, I'm not sure what your exact opinion with porn is.
Honestly, Yash, I have very fun opinion on this. I don't take this very seriously, because अगर कोई addiction होती है, for example, it's a cigarette का addiction या alcohol का addiction, I will be a little more concerned about the person. But for porn addiction, I am a little I'm always in a fun mode when I'm having any kind of a conversation, because I have clients who are into their early 20s and who still do have that kind of a thing कि जब वो job से आते हैं, they are lonely and they don't have a mate with whom they can become intimate, and सबसे best time pass and to release is to watch a porn and masturbate. मेरे लिए porn बड़ा funny है, because I think porn is that one thing that takes away the innocence out of men. Right? I think when a boy is introduced to porn, like that's the end of innocence for him.
Yes.
Because I remember I had no idea as to how a child takes birth in this world.
Yes.
For me, I was always believing, because हम movies से, because Bollywood से हमारा सबसे ज़्यादा जो इमेजेस जो बॉलीवुड में दिखाई जाती हैं, या जो भी हमें एक सीन दिखाया जाता है, हम उसको रियलिटी देते हैं. तो आई थॉट कि द हीरो हीरोइन है, दे प्रॉब्ली दे किस एंड द चाइल्ड कम्स आउट. सो फॉर मी माय इनोसेंस वाज टेकन.
आप थोड़े ज़्यादा इनोसेंट थे ब्रो.
So my innocence was taken away the moment that this porn thing was introduced to me. Sorry, what was the question? I just lost the track.
So my question was that did you ever feel कि यार ये चीज़ problem है, या अभी भी लगता है?
Yes.
Or when did you realize that?
It happened. I didn't feel it was a problem until the point when I started feeling drained by this activity. I saw that my mind, rather than focusing on my studies, rather than focusing on playing with my friends, rather than focusing on taking care of my health, well-being, and putting my energies into something constructive, all I can think about is getting that one clip, or probably running to a friend's place, and he's called up, आजा नई clip आई है, तेरे को पता है ये फलाना धमकाना, ये Australian, Russian, whatever the fuck it is, कि this is something and I'm thinking about it, and then it started affecting my grades.
Yes.
That was a clear indication that Abhinav, something's wrong, because I used to be very active in curricular as well as extracurricular activities. The moment my performance started going down, I realized there's something that is stopping it. Of course, my friend circle was one of them, but one thing that they introduced was porn. So that decrement in the performance was the clear indication.
Okay, so for me, realizing that it is a problem was a very recent thing actually, because I never thought कि यार ये कोई इतनी big deal है, because for me, maybe my use was regular, but it wasn't like, maybe it wasn't ever more than once a day or something like that when I was younger. Then it automatically, there were phases, कभी ज़्यादा हो जाता था, कभी कम हो जाता, but once a day से ऊपर नहीं जाता. But recently when I started reading about this, I got intrigued. I started reading about this. I realized, मैंने रीड भी इसलिए करना स्टार्ट किया कि मैं सोच रहा कुछ स्पिरिचुअल लॉजिक ढूंढूं इसमें एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. एंड फ्यू टाइम्स क्या हुआ मेरे साथ कि whenever I used to masturbate, next day it used to, I didn't feel my 100%, I didn't feel focused, I didn't feel like working. That is very different in relation to other days for me, because every day when I wake up I'm like, okay, this is my mission, let's go. Right? ये होना स्टार्ट हुआ, थोड़ा सा मैंने ऑब्जर्व करना स्टार्ट किया, फिर then I was like, okay, I'll read about this. Right? Then I came to a conclusion कि यार it might not have been a big problem for me, but it can be a very big problem for a lot of people.
Yes.
Let's start with सिंपल masturbation and muscle building. सबसे ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन इस रिलेशन से आता है अपने पास. बहुत सारे मिथ्स हैं, बहुत चीज़ें हैं. अभिनव, व्हाट इज योर व्यू ऑन दिस?
Okay. we've always talked about this यार, पानी ज़्यादा पी लोगे नुकसान करेगा. Human need is same. Like you are doing it for need because human need that release for biological reasons and to sustain in a healthy manner. But if you're doing it too much and it is affecting your performance, if you can feel that, it will cause you some kind of negative effects. When it comes to muscle building, health, fitness, I keep on getting these questions, क्या ये बुरी है, क्या बुरी है. I'm like, okay, जब तुम ज़्यादा खाना खा लेते हो ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा, उसका क्या इंडिकेशन होता है? ब्लोटिंग, गैस, एब्डोमिनल पेन, एब्डोमिनल डिस्कम्फर्ट. उसी तरह जब तुम ज़्यादा मास्टरबेट कर लोगे, you will get clear indications from your body. Next day you won't be able to lift heavy, you won't be able to perform your cardio well, you won't be able to feel energetic during those activities that you really want to do. That is a clear indication it is affecting. So if you are seeing that, it is a clear indication it is not good for you, right? Apart from that, I've been an athlete and I know the routine of athletes. So I'm not going to become very subjective over here. I will give you an objective thing to just think about so that you can also start working on that. So athletes की जब preparation phase होता है, the coaches, they always recommend them not to masturbate for an extended periods of time. But the night before they have to perform, the night before they have to actually go and perform at that highest level or whatever level they are working in, the coaches always recommend to have some kind of sexual release, right? So the same thing is with the muscle building, health or fitness. If you're preparing for a competition or if you are really trying to become the fittest version of yourself, porn and masturbation can be a big distraction. And if it is already a big distraction, I would say even if it does not, because we don't have scientific proofs as to what are the physical effects of prolonged masturbation or masturbation on your fitness, on getting those abs or getting those biceps. But it is definitely a mental distraction for you if you're trying to achieve something significant in these particular industry or criterias.
Guys, यहाँ पे एक चीज़ मैं स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन कर देता हूँ, यूज़ और अब्यूज़ में बहुत फ़र्क होता है. हम स्पेसिफिकली अब्यूज़ की बात कर रहे हैं, राइट? बट एक चीज़ मैं मेंशन कर देता हूँ कि यार आप सिंप्लीफाई करना है सबसे ज़्यादा. आप देखो कि आपके मसल बिल्डिंग के लिए प्रिंसिपल क्या है. प्रिंसिपल है कि यू शुड बी एबल टू प्रोग्रेसिवली ओवरलोड. सेकेंड प्रिंसिपल ये है डाइट ठीक होनी चाहिए. थर्ड प्रिंसिपल है रिकवरी ठीक होनी चाहिए. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि इन तीनों में से कोई भी चीज़ अफेक्ट हो रही है, दैट मीन्स इट इज़ अफेक्टिंग इट, राइट? वरना अगर प्रोग्रेसिव ओवरलोड हो रहा है, स्लीप ठीक है, आपकी स्लीप नहीं ख़राब हो रही पॉर्न देखने की वजह से ज़्यादा देर, एंड न्यूट्रिशन आपका ठीक रह रहा है इवन आफ्टर वॉचिंग पॉर्न मास्टरबेशन, देन इट्स फाइन फॉर यू, राइट? एटलीस्ट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट मसल बिल्डिंग. नाउ व्हेन आई रियलाइज कि यार इट्स अ बिग डील, बिग प्रॉब्लम फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, आई got into the science and I was like कि चलो साइंस अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं एग्जैक्टली क्या हो रही है. सो साइंस से स्टार्ट करते हैं. पहली चीज़ है कि दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम जॉर्डन पीटरसन. ही वॉज लाइक, जॉर्डन पीटरसन ने एक सिंपल सी मेंशन करी, द प्रॉब्लम विद पॉर्न इज दैट इन अर्लियर टाइम्स किंग को भी इतना एक्सेस नहीं होता था विमेन का जितना हमें अपनी स्क्रीन्स पे है. ओके, यू वांट अ वुमन टू लुक लाइक दिस, पॉसिबल. यू वांट अ स्टोरी लाइक दिस, पॉसिबल. यू वांट टू बी इन दिस रोल, possible. From color to body size to everything is there in available. And it's like thus tab any fantasy, anything can be accessed. अब issue क्या है? Our evolutionary biology और wiring हमारी क्या है that we need to become competent. Why? Because we want to attract the right partner. अब इसमें क्या हो सकता है कि maybe because of watching too much of porn, that will to become competent or growing in your life goes down. Right? So अब इसमें इशू क्या है कि अगर आपको will ही नहीं है, you don't even have a why of improving yourself health wise or wealth wise, that's an issue. एक simple सा example देता हूँ. Earlier, right, maybe there's a time when there is no porn. A man who's unhealthy, maybe obese, if he thinks about getting a partner, he might be motivated कि यार भाई फिटनेस ठीक करनी है so that I look more attractive. Now this can be hacked, right? Instead of you working to become attracted or you working on your career specifically to become more competent, you have a hack. Open your favorite porn site and you have access to everything. That's the first aspect. दूसरा aspect science का एक चीज़ बताता हूँ. Whenever you masturbate, dopamine goes down and prolactin comes up.
Yes.
Prolactin release होता है, got it from Andrew Huberman. So अब अगर prolactin ऊपर जा रहा है, prolactin is antagonistic to dopamine in nature. अब इस पर मैंने देखो डिटेल स्टडी नहीं करी है, अब मुझे एग्जैक्टली ये नहीं पता कि डोपामिन कितनी देर के लिए नीचे जाता है, बट अगेन कीप इन माइंड कि प्रोलैक्टिन इज गोइंग अप विच इज रिड्यूसिंग डोपामिन विच कैन ऑल्सो हेल्प यू इंप्रूव स्लीप. Right, so parasympathetic हो जाता है for a lot of people. For me, this was a thing that a lot of times when I was not able to sleep, masturbation became a solution. Then I was like, I need to fix my sleep, or why I am not getting sleep without this. Right. Next is Abhinav. Do you have anything to add on this, bro?
I think you should complete and then I'll just add in pointers.
Next is dopamine and fantasies. Right, dopamine is very interesting that you always want more of it. Right. एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ, बीट एनी ड्रग्स इन रिलेशन टू डोपामीन. सिंपल सा एग्जाम्पल देते हैं अल्कोहल का. यू हैव वन ड्रिंक, व्हाट हैपेंस नेक्स्ट? यू फील लाइक हैविंग मोर. राइट, सो आपका डोपामीन का थ्रेशोल्ड बढ़े जाता है एंड वापस इट कम्स डाउन टू द बेस लाइन. सेम अप्लाइज टू पॉर्न, हाइपोथेटिकली स्पीकिंग. अब इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि आज आपने एक टाइप ऑफ पॉर्न देखी, आपको उसमें मजा आया. नेक्स्ट टाइम यू वॉन्ट मोर. Next time you want 3 tabs open. Next time your fantasies start becoming extreme. Over time your fantasies are becoming extreme because आपको normal porn देख के मजा ही नहीं आ रहा. अब issue क्या है? इसकी भी एक ceiling है, इसकी भी एक healthy ceiling है. Right? Once this healthy ceiling goes down, we have crossed that healthy ceiling. What happens?
You do more.
Porn is in your laptop, right? This real life sex also. You can't replicate that in real life. That's where the issue happens. Next is fast switching. ये मैंने खुद ही word बनाया. Fast switching क्या है कि generally, at least it used to happen with me that when I was watching porn regularly, I wasn't just watching one porn. There were like 10 tabs which were open. Right? Sorry guys, I'm getting personal about my own thing, but I was like, I just want to tell you that I have been through the same thing. 10 tabs open होते थे. Okay, ये नहीं अच्छा लग रहा, switch करो. Because there are thousands of websites and every website has thousands of options. अब उसमें issue क्या है? Real life में, if you want a monogamous life where you just want one partner, switching becomes impossible. Impossible, especially at the speed at which you're watching porn. Right? And next scientific aspect is that you are getting used to watching others. Right? So think about that. That you're just looking at others now. And you're getting turned on by watching others. So that can lead to a lot of issues, and these are the scientific aspects. One thing which I would specifically mention is that I've derived everything from logic and how you're getting your brain used to stuff.
No, you beautifully mentioned all these points, and I'm sure like a lot of our audience will get a lot of good perspective out of it. And yes, even I when any client comes to me and they say that they have, because we live in a world where performance anxiety and sexual performance issues are they are increasing every single day. So whenever a client comes to me, I just ask them one question: do you watch porn? If they say yes, I say cut that thing. Like, that is one thing that is not allowing you to be yourself with your partner. As you mentioned, you are every single decision that you're making, every single thing you're watching, every kind of information you are taking, you are training your mind to behave in a certain way by using that information. It is the behavior that you're teaching it, okay? Your mind is controlling everything. You believe that you're sick, you will actually become sick. You believe that you will get turned on by watching 2 naked people having sexual intimacy together. That will be the habit of your mind. And if you're going through any performance anxiety issue in your life and you're watching porn, you have to let go of porn, because that is one of the biggest obstacles that is not allowing you to enjoy the purest and the most sexual intimacy, the best sexual intimacy that you can do with your partner. Now, there's a very thin line between what is good and what is bad. We all can say, okay, कुछ देख लेंगे तो कुछ नहीं होगा, ज़्यादा कर लेंगे तो बुरा हो जाता है. But let's be very honest here. If you are actually watching porn, there's a concept, a very simple concept that me and Yash have talked about a lot, that is path of least resistance. Not making an effort to go out there and having a real mate. Because today, if I decide that I want to go out in the mating market and I want to choose a particular mate and I want to, enjoy that sexual intimacy with someone, it is way more tough. takes way more energy. I might have to build my status, my repo and everything, versus watching porn, right? So just see the level that you are coming down to just to enjoy that temporary kind of a fix that you're trying to introduce to your life. And of course, one of the reasons is that men are becoming lonelier. Men are lonelier. Like today, if we have to talk about all this masculinity, toxic masculinity, these agendas that are going on, men have become lonelier, right? And this is one thing that I will tell all the men, that because we live in a country like India, जहाँ पे सब कुछ बहुत conservative होता है, this porn can actually train your mind in a way कि it won't let you feel that masculinity, because that sexual intimacy, real sexual intimacy that you feel with a woman can actually make you feel really masculine. A lot of young guys who really want to feel masculine, they say we don't have that confidence, we don't feel confident with the girls. Porn can be one of the reasons why you are not feeling confident when you're out there with the real person. So that is something I wanted to talk about here. Another thing is the hormones that we say, the prolactin and stuff like that. I think prolactin is something, if the honeymoon period is going on, probably prolactin stays for a shorter period of time and you get really excited. And probably if you're in a phase where you are in, like, it's a dal and roti wala case, maybe the prolactin is it's for an extended period of time, and you take a longer period of time before you can have intercourse or you can go again with the partner. And the other thing was the fantasies. We will talk about this, but all these fantasies, if you really start understanding your mind and your brain, that is why we, Yash keeps on bringing in these neuroscientific facts, so that you have the ability to understand your mind. Overdoing of these fantasies, especially porn, will make you less disciplined in life. Like, this is one thing that you will observe. And if you are someone who is watching porn, you can see, like, in almost all the areas of your life, it is affecting your discipline. This is something that you will have to introspect once you sit with yourself and you see that how it is actually affecting your mind. So these were the things that I just wanted to add into this.
Yes, great pointer कि यार खुद से feedback लो सबसे पहली चीज.
Yes.
And ask yourself, it is right or wrong. हम ये नहीं कह रहे porn is bad or something like that, right? All we are saying is it can be very bad for some people. So just feedback लो, आपकी health कैसी है after you are watching porn, wealth कैसी है, relationships कैसे हैं, and take a call over that.
एक funny चीज़ बोलना चाहूँगा. That one funny moment in my life came when I really got detached from porn or masturbation. If I felt I had any kind of an addiction, I was done with it. That moment was, I was just sitting one day and I just imagined watching myself naked doing that activity. How would I feel about myself? Would I want to see my child doing it? Or let's say if I'm God watching my child doing it, what would be that kind of a feeling? And that destroyed the whole fun of it. And that was how I overcame it.
Yeah, so extreme baat kar di.
But again, it's in your mind. Like, it's as I said, I have a very fun way of looking at this. Like, people become really serious about porn and masturbation. I'm like, dude, you just need to have that fun aspect about it. It is because, as I said, like an alcohol addiction, probably a smoking addiction can actually kill you. Porn and masturbation might kill you, but if you really have a fun way of looking at life and fixing things in your life, just imagine this. You are yourself, watching yourself from the top, all naked, doing that activity. How do you feel about yourself? Right? Yes. For me, it was clear that I'm not doing that again.
Right. Now talking about self, अब इस पे सेल्फ वाला पार्ट डिस्कस करते हैं कि यार सेल्फ को कैसे इफेक्ट कर रहा है. पहली चीज़ तो क्या है कि चाहते हुए ना चाहते हुए वी ह्यूमंस आर वायर्ड इन अ वे दैट वी काइंड ऑफ कंपेयर आवरसेल्व्स विद अदर्स, राइट? अंडरस्टैंड porn is meant for what? Number one, professionals are performing it.
Right.
Second, it might just lead to you comparing yourself with maybe Johnny Sins, right? So that's an issue, and this depends. And if you have low self-esteem or low confidence in relation to maybe your penis size is one example. Penis size, that might just, every time you're watching it, deep inside, you might be just thinking about that, maybe I have some issue with the size or something like that, right? So thinking about that is very important, because already low confidence hai and if you're that person who keeps on competing or comparing yourself with others, this might be causing issues, but logically अगर सोचा जाए तो these are the best professionals of the world, right? So same goes for unrealistic expectation for performance,
right?
Porn keeps on going on for 1 hour and stuff like that. So real life scenario might be different, right? So if you, while performing sex or any sexual activity in real life, are thinking about what is happening in porn and how long it is happening and stuff like that, that might cause issues. And this is for both parties, right? Because during porn, in porn, you're finding the fittest people. Everyone has abs, big muscles, maybe their stamina is too much, right? So comparison wali baat aa jati hai. So think about performance. Next is unreal expectation for novelty. Porn mein you can open 10 tabs, 10 different tabs every day. You can watch a different story, right? Real life mein that happening is difficult. Although there's this role play stuff which you can do with the partner that's there, but जिस स्पीड पे आप नोवेल्टी देख रहे हो, आप इमेजिन करो दैट बिफोर गेटिंग इनटू अ रिलेशनशिप 7 years के लिए you have watched porn. 7 years you have watched different kinds of porn, and every time level is going up. Every day you are switching depending upon your mood. This might just mess up your real life, what you do in the real life. And next comes self-pay. That this might just, if you're watching too much porn for too long, you might just start ignoring other areas of your life. Porn is mostly fantasy. Keep in mind, it's not your real life. Right? So, you might just start ignoring other areas of life, especially where you can build your competence, right? Health, wealth. Health wala sabse zyada important hai yahan pe, because, see, it's a need. Sexual stuff is a need for us. But if your health is not good and if it is difficult for you to find a partner, you might just, try to hack it via watching porn. Right? Next is porn leading to perversion. कुछ पॉर्न में क्या होता है कि कुछ भी स्टोरीज चल रही होती है, कुछ भी हो रहा होता है लिटरली, राइट? सो दैट माइट जस्ट मेक यू परवर्ट इन रियल लाइफ, एंड यू माइट जस्ट स्टार्ट थिंकिंग इन योर रियल लाइफ कि भाई पॉर्न में भी हो रहा है तो रियल लाइफ में भी मैं सेम चीज़ कर दूँ, राइट? Because sometimes things are very funny. For example, having porn having sex in a bus, right? I'm just giving a random example. That's not my fantasy, but a random example. You can't have sex in a bus in real life, right? That might just cause issues, and that might just land you in bigger and bigger trouble. Right? Day in and day out, there are, videos of these idiots on social media who are maybe literally start masturbating in public, right? It's good that, women have started exposing such idiots, but, maybe your idiocracy is starting with stuff like this, right? Keep in mind, this is 100% fiction, but आप fiction को इतने time के लिए देखोगे, your brain might just start feeling that, this might be possible in real life, right? Some scenarios might be possible in real life, but, don't start living by that. That would, that can land you in big trouble in your relationships and otherwise also, because we as humans are social beings. Yes.
I think you beautifully explained the whole scenario. It's the same thing as we said. It will prevent you to enjoy the real sexual intimacy with your partner because of the unrealistic expectations and the way that you've trained your mind by watching a fake scenario, a fake story again and again and again. And as I said, when we are innocent as kids, as boys, or even as girls, if they also watch, वही बॉलीवुड देखते हैं तो हमें उस टाइम वही लगता है कि राहुल और सिमरन ऐसे ही रिश्ते होते हैं. तो सेम थिंग, वो इनोसेंस जब खत्म होती है, यू स्टार्ट वाचिंग पॉर्न, आपके लिए राहुल सिमरन के कैरेक्टर्स चेंज हो जाते हैं. तो आप आप अपने आप को गलत राहुल की इमेज में और सिमरन को गलत सिमरन की इमेज में देखते हो.
राहुल और सिमरन के बाद अभी मेरे दिमाग से कभी निकले. नेक्स्ट टाइम इफ आई एम एवर वाचिंग पॉर्न, राहुल सिमरन आएंगे मेरे दिमाग में. आई डिस्ट्रॉयड वो क्या नाम था मूवी का, मैं नाम भी भूल गया. व्हाट वाज इट? दिलवाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे. आई डिस्ट्रॉयड द होल इमेज. चलो जॉनी एंड मिया रख सकते हो, नेम चेंज कर दो. चलो ठीक है, जॉनी एंड मिया. ओके, सो गाइस, इसके बाद आती है नेक्स्ट प्रॉब्लम. फ्रॉम सेल्फ से लिंक्ड है सेक्सुअल प्रॉब्लम्स इट कैन लीड टू. And guys, this is something which I've been studying since a while, and it's crazy. Earlier I used to feel that erectile dysfunction might be a very rare thing. Stats बताता हूँ इंडिया के. 1 out of 10 men has issues, permanent issues in relation to their erectile function. That means getting an erection. There are over 10 million cases which are reported in relation to sexual confidence. So guys, समझो कि सेक्सुअल प्रॉब्लम्स हो क्यों रही हैं. पहला रीज़न तो है दैट यू आर नॉट गेटिंग टर्न्ड ऑन सीइंग रियल लाइफ स्टफ बिकॉज आपने इतना हाई लेवल स्टफ देखा है फॉर मंथ्स एंड ईयर्स दैट यू आर नॉट गेटिंग टर्न्ड ऑन लाइक एट ऑल. इसमें एक फैक्टर मैं ऐड कर देता हूँ दैट लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स व्हाट गाइज डू इज इंस्टेड ऑफ टेकिंग ओनरशिप फॉर देयर एक्शंस trying to fix it, they blame it on the partner. Right? So, if you're a guy, just man up because, it's an opportunity for you to fix a permanent problem in yourself. Second, this is mainly linked to dopamine, right? आप dopamine की जितनी habit डाल रहे हो अपने brain को, depending upon whatever you are watching and stuff like that, start, maybe tapering down and stuff like that. Next is performance anxiety. वही comparison वाली बात आ जाती है. Now we are in a world where Instagram reels भी आ रही है, Netflix के उसमें भी show करते हैं कि performance anxiety, a girl tells their friends, right? So it's not just linked to your partner, right? Because earlier women were not vocal about this stuff with others.
Yes.
Now they are. So a lot of times guys are so scared of being judged, so scared of their reputation that they don't even initiate it. Right? So guys starting avoiding it, and I've seen a few cases actually where this actually happened. So think about that. Performance anxiety आपकी worsen कर सकता है. Next is erectile dysfunction cause कर सकता है because I'll tell you, sex is a parasympathetic activity. That means
you have to be
erection.
relaxed.
This is the difference between a male and female. A male cannot fake it, right? A male sign of being turned on is the erection.
Yes.
Right? But on the other spectrum, but आपको anxiety हो रही है performance की, यार होगा कि नहीं होगा, you are putting yourself in the sympathetic nervous system mode, that is fight or flight mode. Think about evolution now. Fight or flight mode में would your brain prioritize you having sex? The answer is no. It would prioritize you fighting or flighting, you having higher glucose levels in your blood, higher heartbeat, right? So this performance anxiety can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. कि मतलब simple सा example देता हूँ कि आप सोच रहे हो उसकी वजह से वो चीज़ हो रही है. So simple example, in most cases this is called performance anxiety कहते हैं इसको. Basically medical term भी इसका यही है कि आपको physically कोई problem नहीं है erection से related, but you are mentally scared,
right?
Because of which your fear is becoming true and you're not getting an erection.
Yes.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So इसको भी ध्यान में रखो. Very important, right? Because also एक बार हो गया, you have one bad experience like this would keep on getting repeated in future experiences, and this might just become a permanent problem, which is starting not physically, just mentally. So this is a big problem.
Yes.
Next is premature ejaculation. Again, it's because of the same reason. You have been watching too much of porn, and you're scared that this might happen.
Right.
If you are scared that you might ejaculate prematurely, that might just happen, right? So just think about these aspects. This is much deeper than just watching porn and sleeping.
Yes.
Right? So again, this might not happen with everybody, but a lot of guys deal with this. I actually saw another study recently. The study said that South Asian countries, including India, have the fastest growing rates of guys with erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. And guys, the thing is, आप पूरी जिंदगी you can't run away from it, right? In the past, it was easier for guys to get away with this stuff by just saying that okay, you don't turn me on, and stuff like that. Now, medically, there are things which can prove this, right? So keep that in mind. And although there might be physical issues also, but psychological, your brain, your psychology might just be controlling your physiology. So keep that in mind.
Yes, we'll that's great because Yash, you brought all these pointers. It definitely we should do a separate podcast on these sexual problems and stuff, because this has been proved that most of these sexual problems, they are more psychological than physical. And a lot of pills and medicines and I don't know what in the God's name is being sold out there in the market, which doesn't work at all. It's all placebo, if whatever the benefits that people might be getting through it. But it's just a very small psychological fix that needs to happen, and all these problems can be solved. We will discuss about all of this in another episode. And yes, avoiding it or saying that she is too dominant, that's why I'm not able to get up and I get anxious with her,
or she's not hot anymore.
Yeah, so these are the statements that you need to be very careful. If these are the thoughts that are appearing in your mind, if you come across any of these problems, whether it's erectile dysfunction, performance anxiety, or premature ejaculation, whatever it is. But because as you know, you need to be in a relaxed state, as Yash said, that not in a fight or flight response, not in a sympathetic mode, for actually being able to perform that activity or enjoy that sexual intimacy. And porn is something that can psychologically literally injure you. As I said, it takes away that innocence from everything. It can psychologically take away that feeling or those emotions that you feel when you are having a real intimate moment with your partner.
This is great. Now let's get to Abhinav's expertise. Spiritual aspect. Although मुझे basic पता है कि यार spiritually in most religions this is kind of seen as a sin.
Okay.
But Abhinav, I would like to understand your take.
Sure. When we talk about spiritual aspects, spirituality of anything, there is no scientific data to back anything. It's just personal opinions. I have just two opinions on this. First thing, porn destroys your spiritual health. That is what I believe.
Yes.
It does, especially for men who are lonely, who are using porn to pass their time, get rid of boredom, or not accept their inability to go out there in the world, get a real mate, and have that intimacy with that person. It is destroying your it is destroying your spiritual health. So that is the first thing. Second thing, it is very subjective because we are talking about spiritual aspect. I feel, okay, masturbation, if you are addicted to it, and if you're trying to find some psychological, tip, और आप हमसे कोई टिप जानना चाह रहे हो जिससे आप रुक सके, तो एक चीज़ जिसने मेरे क्लाइंट्स को बहुत हेल्प किया, and whenever I have shared this with them, while masturbating you are releasing something which has the ability to create a complete human. It is a creative energy that is residing in you. Like for a man, that is the source of creation. And if you are just wasting it by masturbating or watching porn, you are actually destroying that creative energy in you. Because females, on the other hand, they have the ability to create or procreate and bring a human into this world. And that is satisfied their creativity. But in that same spiritual dimension, for a man, that creativity is his career, the work, and whatever he can create out there in the business world, whatever cars, watches, whatever you want to get. And that is the creative energy that you are destroying. So these two things are more than enough for me or anyone else to just understand that how these things are harming you in that spiritual dimension.
This is a great pointer, and it might just be a sign that you're not using the creative ability properly. That's why, because आपके brain में energy है, कहीं ना कहीं तो निकलेगी, right? And that is what is happening. And if you are watching porn all the time and masturbating maybe multiple times in a day, long term, then it might just be a feedback. This is more like a feedback for you कि भाई आप अपनी जिंदगी में you are not channelizing your energies the right way.
Right.
That's why you are spending more time doing that. Because if you are a busy person who has a purpose in life, right, you won't be able to find time to watch porn multiple times a day at least. Right. So that is what. So अभिनव एक और कॉन्सेप्ट होता है जिसको कहते हैं यार ejaculation control technique. So it's basically that you enjoy the first part but you don't ejaculate. Do you have any experience in that? या कुछ मतलब पढ़ा है कभी?
Not really. I see. I was watching a podcast at Beer Biceps where Vidyut Jamwal was invited, and he said औजार दिया हुआ है, तो औजार को अगर जब परफॉर्मेंस का टाइम आएगा, औजार अगर तैयार नहीं होगा तो परफॉर्म कैसे करोगे, राइट? सो आई डेफिनेटली हैव ट्राइड दी कंट्रोलिंग टेक्निक इन अ वे कि आई एम एबल टू लास्ट लॉन्गर, right, whenever I'm being intimate, and that happens through practice when you are practicing through masturbation when you need it. But I don't have any idea as to what this technique is or how different this technique is that you're talking about.
Right, so this technique is basically you just make sure you don't ejaculate, everything else is fine.
Right,
but fact of the matter is this requires a lot of discipline,
right,
lot of self-control.
Yes.
Right, if you're someone who's dealing with low discipline levels, you can try. Obviously, there's no harm in trying.
Right.
But this might just not work out well. And there's this another technique. मैंने इतना नहीं पढ़ा तो I might be wrong. जिसको कहते हैं semen retention. So they do something in which the sexual peak is there, but the semen is not released. I might be wrong in this, but I haven't read much about that. But I'm just mentioning that there is another thing. If you want to read about this, please do.
And that looks like a good technique to torture yourself, but I don't know how it will help you to do that. See, semen retention, I have made few of my clients do semen retention. I have done quite a vast research on it. Still, कोई scientific ऐसा evidence नहीं है that semen retention helps in certain particular aspects. I think semen retention can easily work for someone who is trying to become more focused and disciplined in their life and who is having a problem with masturbation. Like a period of, let's say, a week's of semen retention can get them to get back to that focus and discipline and not think about that, okay, I am addicted. Because a lot of people, those who are addicted, they're all the time thinking कि मुझे कोई addiction है, मुझे addiction चल रही है. So just to get their focus out of the way, this semen retention can work, right? But there also have been studies that retaining semen for too long, like there are people, those who swear of retaining semen for like 6 months, 1 year, it creates certain health issues in your body, right? So again, extremes at any end of that spectrum or this spectrum, it will eventually have some kind of a negative impact on you.
This is a great point. Especially study bhi hai. I got it from Andrew Huberman, or there's this book called Boundless. The study is कि अगर आप 7 days ejaculate नहीं करते तो your testosterone levels actually go up, right? But exactly जो आपने mention किया कि after 90 days testosterone actually starts going down. So don't be extreme on any spectrums, and that is what. So next question is, what is okay, what is not? Do you have any number for that for yourself, Abhinav?
Not really. I came up with a very funny number, as I said. Like I have a very funny way because we are mostly catering to the audience जिनको लगता है वो addicted हैं, that is why they are watching it. I have a very simple thing. Like if you are, let's start with, okay, what is okay?
Yes.
Okay. These are just numbers that I'm giving you. Don't take them seriously. But yeah, this can work for you. If you have an addiction, try this out and this might work for you. So if you are below 20, let's say you are in your teenage, 3 times a week is fine, right? Let's say 3 times a week, it's okay. Like if you want that. If you are, let's say, below 30, I would say once every 7 days. And if you are above 30, I would say once every 15 days. Like these are the numbers that I just throw around, and I just feel that helps people to become more disciplined with that act and get out of that addiction rather than fixing them with any kind of a scientific jargon that they won't understand.
Right. So ये understand करो guys, this is different for everybody. कोई magical numbers नहीं है. Numbers की since बात हो रही है तो ये again these numbers are coming from Mark Sisson. उनका logic था. It was not in relation to
who was it?
Mark Sisson. The book's name the book's name is Boundless. Boundless book में पढ़ा मैंने. Mark Sisson 90% चांस है कि writer का नाम Mark Sisson ही है. If it is
exactly these numbers.
नहीं उनके numbers बता रहा हूँ मैं. अभी recently I was just studying. उन्होंने और aspects भी लिखे. His logic was that 20s में do whatever you want to do, whatever frequency you like. 30s में make it less than 3 to 4 times a week. 40s में make it less than 2 to 3 times a week. Right?
Very subjective.
Again वो अब subjective बात हो जाती है. आपके लिए number guys क्या है कि जो भी अभी है इससे better करो if you want to change it, right? Because today this is more about awareness. It's not about telling you ये करो वो करो, हम ये करते हैं वो करते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. ठीक है. Specific limit again कोई as such specific limit नहीं है. Just focus on progression, not perfection. Another question for you, Abhinav. Do you believe in abstinence? Do you intentionally have phases जब आप कहते हो कि यार okay there would be no ejaculation at my end? कभी ऐसा होता है intentional या नहीं?
Intentionally नहीं होता, but it's just that कभी ध्यान ही नहीं जाता उस चीज़ की तरफ. Like I'm so engrossed in my work and stuff, and like if I'm single, I don't have a partner. If I have a partner, तब तो कभी नहीं जाता because you're already like whenever you are with a partner, it is very natural to be sexually intimate. But if I'm single and I'm focused on my work and my business and I work, तो इस चीज़ की तरफ कभी ध्यान जाता ही नहीं है. It is like once in a while that it is a need, then it might happen, but on a regular basis it does not.
It depends upon, you know, where you are channelizing your energy.
Yes. That is why I said that this addiction or that addiction or any addiction, your focus, your discipline, your routine, that is what will save you. That is the easiest manner to get back.
Right. In my case, last few months I've been practicing, not practicing, actually experimenting. But one thing which I've seen is, again, ये scientific बात नहीं है, मेरे personal experience can be placebo also. But the times when I am, you know, going like 7 days, 10 days without ejaculating at all, my focus levels are on another level. I'm getting much more work done. मेरी sleep better है, सब कुछ better है. Can be placebo. But, you know, I have been actively experimenting with this, especially after I got a lot of messages after our first episode. This was a few months back. Right now also I'm in that abstinence mode. Abstinence mode is that, you know, no masturbation basically. Real life, whatever is happening, that's fine. But no porn. And porn I have stopped. Literally, I started reducing last year. Now it's been not too long, around 1 month, that I haven't watched porn like at all. Right? But since the time I started actively working, डेली भी पॉन होना देखना बंद हो गया था. कभी भी बीच में एक ऐसे वीक आ गया when I'm too stressed or something like that, which was not right, because if I look back, stress का solution is not, you know, ejaculation, right, although scientifically वो आपको एक तरीके से sleep में help कर रहा है, but that's not the best way. So currently, again, no porn mode is going on, and it's much better. Things are much better overall, focus wise also, and I'm able to get more work done. It might be a direct resultant, or it might be indirect also, वो मुझे नहीं पता. Right. But I heard Patrick Bet-David say that, you know, he went like 7 months without any sort of ejaculation, and he made the most amount of money during that. My goal is not making most amount of money via that. But you know, when he said that, then I was like, okay, that's when I actively started practicing it. But again, I'm not too harsh on it, but yeah.
I think but like yes, I think you will also agree with me on this point. कई बार ना ये जो idols होते हैं, I don't know the name that you just said. I think these people throw around these statements so loosely because ये extreme statements हैं. And these are like authority figures, and they know it. Like when they throw this kind of an extreme statement, they will get a lot of attention on this, because I would never recommend someone to go 6 months without ejaculating or with semen retention or what, because I know what, you know, if you have a natural sexual life, you are healthier, you are happier. And if you try to control any kind of a need that of your body, whether it's hunger, food, up to a certain moment, up to a certain point, understanding कि ये एक need है. आप खाना कुछ हद तक, जैसे इंटरमिटेंट फास्टिंग हम बात करते हैं, कुछ पॉइंट तक हम नहीं खाते हैं बिकॉज वी वांट टू बिकम डिसिप्लिन्ड इन आवर लाइफ. सेम थिंग विद वाटर. लाइक अगर हम अल्कोहल नहीं पीते कुछ टाइम तक हम नहीं पियेंगे बिकॉज वी वांट टू I'm taking a raw example of alcohol. Let's say water. हम water fasting भी होती है, जैसे हमारे cultures में, हिंदू cultures में होती है. It is just to increase your focus, increase your this. But ऐसा तो कभी नहीं बोलते कि इसको बात पीना ही बंद कर दो. Right? Same चीज़ is this. It is a need of your body. The sexual release is a need in your body. वो energy अगर release नहीं होगी, वो कहीं ना कहीं आपकी health में negatively affect करेगी. Adults after 25, you see their data. I have these clients and stuff who try this semen retention, and they are all over the place. They say, we have become so grumpy with our employees, with our partners, with everyone. And the moment I psychologically fix this in their mind, they are okay with it. They make it a huge deal earlier. They made it a huge deal earlier, but now they are having happy life. So just because some idol is saying, someone you believe in, or your favorite entrepreneur or your favorite athlete is saying ki haan bhai, semen retention is very good, I will never recommend that. Right. Trust me, it is a need for your body. And overdoing it, just like any other thing, water, food, it will negatively impact you.
Very good point, because extreme of anything is not right. Because again, if something exists, there might be some purpose for that, right? It's as simple as that.
Just stay focused and stay disciplined. That is the main thing. If it is interfering in that, that means you might need to take a break for, let's say, 7 to 10 days that we are talking about these statements. Okay, it increases this, it increases that. This might make more sense for you.
Right. This is a great pointer, and this brings us to our favorite part of the episode, where we share our top 5 tips to improve.
Done.
We are not saying abstain karo, band karo. We are not even saying ki khule karte raho, jo bhi. It's like, if at this stage of the episode you think that there's some problem,
Right.
and you need to improve,
Right.
and these are the tips for you.
Right.
Let's start with you, Abhinav. Let's do your top 5, then mine.
Done. Perfect. Before I start this, I just have one more pointer
Yes,
I
please,
would like to
please,
add. Because we said a lot of negative things about porn and stuff. It is fine. As I said, it is not good for your spiritual health. I completely understand. But anything that exists in this world, I always feel it has some positive aspect, right? It can be. So there's just one positive aspect I could find out about porn, and that was that in my experience working with the clients, that couples who've lost that passion in their sexual intimacy, in their sexual life, they can actually benefit from porn, but a certain kind of porn.
This is a very good, very valid point. Very valid point.
वो genres होते हैं love making वाले वो वाले. So that is the kind of one, I would say, good thing that can come out of it. But again, it is very subjective. I won't recommend कि आप शुरू कर दो उसके साथ if it is a couple watching this and if you're having this. But this has been my personal experience. Again, there's no scientific data about it. But this can help you to just go beyond that monotonous kind of a thing that you've developed over the years, over the period of time. And that might help you to get that sexual passion and intimacy back in your life.
This is a great point because although this is not linked to porn, but there was this movie which was called 365.
Okay.
I heard so many people say that, okay, our sex life has improved. Maybe they found अब मुझे नहीं पता इतना detail में, but I heard like over 10 people here and there.
I forgot like you don't need to actually visit websites to watch porn. There's soft porn going on Netflix and stuff. I'm like opening up the episodes. I'm like opening up Netflix and there's nothing to watch other than Friends and I think Big Bang Theories and stuff
365,
like that.
watch 365.
Okay, perfect.
I found the movie very senseless, by the way. Chalo, back to the point, back to the tips. Let's start, bro.
Perfect. So top 5 tips to reduce or porn or to
just improve the situation.
Just improve the situation. Okay. Firstly, as I started with the conversation, see how you feel about it. Go deep into that feeling. If there's guilt, if there's a feeling of shame, go deeper into that feeling, because your body and your mind is telling you how it is affecting your body, your mind, and your health. So if you feel that it is not making you feel good, take a break. Like this will be my first thing. Secondly, will be understanding it is not just about having an addiction, understanding that it can actually harm your relations and your self-growth. As we talked about, this will reduce your motivation. Any form of porn, any form of masturbation, if you are addicted to it, it is reducing your motivation to go out in the actual world and find an actual mate, which is the foremost thing for any man to feel masculine. So all these agendas about how to feel more masculine, if you are trying to find videos, how to feel more manly, feel more masculine. If you're watching porn and if you're addicted to masturbation or porn, you have to take control over it. It is important. Next thing, we talked about this in the breakups episode also, is to try to find one thing where you can focus your energies, because if your energies are going towards porn and masturbation, that means you don't have anything significant in your life that really ticks you, that really gets you out of the bed and makes you work your ass off to get that thing done. If you have that, porn and masturbation should not be a problem for you. So that means you lack purpose, you lack motivation, and you lack any kind of significant, I would say, zeal or zest about life or about whatever you want to achieve. So just try to know as to what takes you, what you really want to achieve, what you really want to become, and start focusing your energies onto that. And next time when you feel you want to watch porn, you want to masturbate, don't do it. Sit with a notepad, with a pen or paper, with stay away from phone and laptops, otherwise you'll end up watching porn after doing this activity. Just take it away. Just open a pen and paper and just write down all the things that you would like to do or like to achieve, people you are grateful for. This will bring back your focus on the right things about your life, right? And okay. Next thing is don't cut off completely. I understand there are people talking about doing semen retentions for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. But with any kind of an addiction, if you stop it completely, the chances of you coming back to it even worse. if you were doing, let's say, 3 times a week and you abstain yourself for, let's say, 1 month and you go back, there are chances you might be doing it for every single day, right? So slowly taper it off.
Scientifically इसको abstinence violation कहते हैं कि that extremes पे ना जाओ. The answer is often in the gray area.
Yes, abstinence, like again, these are words and these are there just to create symbols. Abstinence is a symbol that, okay, I'm trying to bring that focus. अगर ये symbol अपनी life में बना लोगे, why I'm abstaining or why I'm following abstinence is because I want to bring the focus back to things that matter into my life, right? So slowly taper off, and slowly taper off means, let's say you are doing 7 days a week, taper it off to 3. I understand, most of the men, when they come back from the office, from their work, they are getting bored at night. They don't have a partner, so they would open up. What they will do, Netflix वगैरह देखना है. Netflix पे भी if you watch something, it's mostly sensual, so you'll end up watching porn and you will end up masturbating, right? But if you have a fixed schedule, just like everything else, as I said, it's a need, right? If you have a fixed schedule, like ऑफिस जाते हो 5 दिन 7 दिन में से, फॉर सेम वे अगर आप 3 दिन फिक्स कर दो, ओके, मंडे, वेडनेसडे एंड थर्सडे I will have this, just like I will have a cheat meal.
Yes.
It will become easier for you not to become too judgmental, not to feel really guilty, not to feel ashamed of yourself, but it will help you to cope up with that mechanism or that behavior. Right? It's all about behavior. How you teach your mind or yourself with that behavior is how easier it will become for your body to, agree to that. And last thing will be, if you are really addicted to it, just know that porn or masturbation can never give you the real satisfaction of real sexual intimacy. The more you become addicted to it, the lesser chances will be that you will be enjoying that kind of an intimacy with your partner. So that is one of the reasons that you can go for when you want to start improving. कि अगर आप porn या masturbation के addicted हो, तो आपकी ability to enjoy that feeling, that real feeling of sexual intimacy with a partner or a real human, it goes down really bad.
Great pointers, Abhinav. मेरे point भी काफी similar है वैसे तो. As always, we are aligned.
Yes.
And okay, so number 1 tip from my side is कभी भी मैं किसी framework की बात करता हूँ, मेरा tip number same होता है. Understand your why and why you should reduce it if you need to, right? Maybe by this part of the episode you are like that, this is not a problem for me. Yes. Everything else is fine. Then you don't even need this, right? Don't try to fix what is not broken.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. So, start working on that. Just ask yourself, do I have a why behind this? If you do not have any why, do not even try it, right? It's pointless. Next is aim to control, not abstain. अभी जैसे मैंने कहा कि यार मैं खुद भी abstain करने के लिए experiment कर रहा हूँ. But the thing is, understand my discipline levels are pretty sorted and I wasn't ever dealing with the problem in the very first place, right? So I'm just experimenting. You don't need to abstain, right? So start with reducing it by 15%, right? जैसे अभिनव ने कहा कि यार 7 की जगह 3 कर दो. My thought process is a little different. Start with just reducing by 1 day, right? And every day 13% करो, then you control it, right? Because कुछ लोगों के लिए I personally feel कि यार 3 days करना थोड़ा extreme हो जाएगा. So depending upon your style, depending upon how it works for you, do that.
Right.
Next is do something better and productive in life. Because one thing which I've seen is when I have had phases in life when, career-wise I'm giving my 100%, health-wise I'm giving my 100%, relationship-wise I'm giving my 100%. I do not have the energy left for such stuff. Right? So think about that. Fix your environment. Right? Start with fixing your environment. That means stop putting yourself in situations where you are tempted to watch more porn. Right? अब मैं ये नहीं बोलूँगा कि यार phone ना लेके सो अपना. That is something which is going to happen. But if you are in a situation where full day long, morning till evening, you do not have anything to do, gym नहीं जाने को है, काम नहीं है, then your brain has to, use the energy somewhere.
Yes.
Then it would be literally watching porn. So, if you have if you're too villa, even if there's a holiday going on or something like that, try to, spend some of your energy in something productive which is helping you improve. It can be a sport also. Yes. It can be going to the gym or whatever. Next is, if you are at the extreme, especially when it comes to, if you are at a stage where it has started affecting your relationships, especially in relation to kind of porn you watch, right? Start slow. That means आपको बंद भी करने की जरूरत नहीं. Start with maybe watching normal porn, right? If you are an extreme of fantasies, right? Because whenever I open a porn site, मैं किसी के साथ नहीं देखता. So one thing which I had noticed was that there were certain forms of porn which are very extreme, जो देख के मेरे को disgust feel होता है कि यार I mean बहुत extreme लग रहा है. I mean even a visual for me, example देता हूँ, मतलब if I see bondage का just a visual also, I'm like what the fuck is happening, right? But fact of the matter is अगर common sense लगा के देखा जाए तो अगर exist करता है तो someone might be watching it, right? So अगर इतनी extreme level पे हो गए तो maybe tapering down is not instead of not watching it, you're just bringing down to maybe watching something normal, right? Again, this is for extreme scenarios. Next is, last but not the least, surround yourself with open-minded people. Porn addiction is something which might feel shameful to you, right? So surround yourself with people, surround yourself with friends who are open-minded, right? Because kai baar your friend circle might be that if you discuss that, they might just call you turkey. As simple as that, right? So, surround yourself with people with whom you can be open, and that's one of our missions with Being Men here. That, that's why we are discussing such stuff so openly. That, surround yourself with open-minded people with whom you can discuss it and create accountability around that and improve. Because one thing which I noticed with what Abhinav was saying, that Abhinav has been actively working with guys fixing that. That's why he's one of the top men's coach in the country. I don't have a lot of people in mind doing this, so that's a great thing if you're dealing with something like this. Abhinav, are you taking clients right now, bro?
I am, but it's like very exclusive spots, and I'm not promoting the services at all.
Yes, that's why I asked. So, but from the episode, one thing which we got to know is that Abhinav is helping people with stuff like this also, apart from physique.
It's mostly my fitness clients who have converted themselves into getting coached for masculinity or
life coaching.
Life coaching.
Right. So, guys, that is there. So, if you seek professional help, I have a professional sitting in front of me, and create accountability, because if you are creating accountability around someone who you respect, if you are watching this, it might be a sign that you respect Abhinav, and it's not an advertisement or something like that. It's just that it's like do not be ashamed to seek help, be it even without coaching, be it in a community, be it with your friends, be it with your family, be it with your partner, right? It can be anything, and that is what, and these were my pointers, and that's what.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Yash, and I'm sure कि आपको solution मिल गया होगा आपकी सभी problems का. And please guys, make sure कि you comment down and let us know if there are any other questions that we were not able to cover, because we will be doing that in the second season of Being Men. And this is how we can build a relation with each other. And that's all from our side. I hope it helps you out, and make sure to subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you get notified as soon as we put on the new videos. And I'm going to see you soon in the next video. Till next time, stay focused and stay fit.
And guys, thank you for watching. And one thing which I would like to mention is that, we don't often say that, subscribe, because logically speaking, episode ke beech mein bole to that would get better results. But our focus is essentially, number one, we haven't ever strategized that. Second is our focus is, providing value, because we don't want to deviate from the topic. And hope this gave you a lot of value. Comments mean world to us. If you share it, that means world to us. And thank you, and see you on the other side.
See you all guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.